Hi, I am Mia Lamont, your host for the Brand Disruptors podcast. I've been a disruptor all my life, and I'm here to help other women step into their own greatness so that they can get paid to be themselves. I decided to start this podcast because I wanted to show other women how I and women like me took their life's disruptions and changed their lives and the lives of others, not to mention broke the mold in their industries. Look, branding is all about who you are at your core, the person that your soul is calling you to be. So get ready to step into your power, own your authenticity, and show up like the boss that you are. If you enjoy all aspects of personal development, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Mel. I want you to share a part of like your story about. We're transparent here about why, or like when I said let's do this, you're like, what?
Right.
Yeah, tell the people why. You were like, maybe.
Um, for one, I don't like public speaking. I do suffer from anxiety. So when you asked me this, I was taken aback. Like, you want me to do what? And I understand that is getting me out of my comfort zone, and I appreciate that. And kind of pushing you. You kind of kept up on me too, because I probably was like, but I said I was gonna do it, and then I was like, all right, I gotta be perfect. I gotta be ready. But it's like, what's perfect?
Absolutely. What is perfect? Like, let's stop chasing that, right? Because there is no perfection. It's an illusion. I talk about this all the time. I think that a lot of us use perfectionism as a way to procrastinate or not do something. And once we check in, it's like, oh, you know what? I am just going to do it. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the fact that you shared that you have the anxiety, but you showed up anyway, because that was one of the messages that, we had earlier. It's like everybody has the fear, but
Mm-hmm.
the difference between the people with the fear and the people who show up are the people that are showing up are doing it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey because everybody doesn't know you. They don't know what you've been up to. So, give us a little bit of background and then talk about a disruption that happened in your life that made you decide that the journey you're on right now is what you're going to be doing.
Okay. So, as Mia already said, I am Mel Wright, the owner of the Wright Village, which is located in Raleigh. It is a co-working slash incubator for Black entrepreneurs in underrepresented communities. We are building a safe space for entrepreneurs, providing them with resources and the support needed to pretty much build your business. A lot of us don't have that. A lot of us don't have the support. A lot of us don't know where to go for resources. A lot of us spend unnecessary money. Hold on a second. I gotta put my phone on the charger. My laptop. I am so sorry.
Look, hey, we're live, so this happens.
Right.
We're live.
Oh goodness.
So what I'm hearing Mel say while she puts her computer on the charger is that she found a need. Her own need wasn't being fulfilled, and so she decided to do something about it. She decided to be of service and create a space for entrepreneurs to be in, to be able to work, and to get the resources that they needed to be successful. Yes?
Correct. Yes. What Mia just said.
Yeah.
So on top of that, how I got to this space, I'll tell you that, and then I'll say on top of that. So how I got to this space, make a little ring light. So you see a little bit.
Yeah, we
Um,
want to see the face.
huh?
We want to see you.
Yes, of course. So I moved to North Carolina back in 2014 from Connecticut. And I know a lot of people done heard this story. You guys are new. Y'all gonna hear it again. But I moved 2014, moved here. I started my tax business here, which I still have now. Um, to make a couple extra dollars, I actually started doing the Carry Women's consignment sales. So I was making money on a weekend selling my clothes. I was making about $500-$600 when they had the sales within that 3 days. So I was like, if I can make this in 3 days, I could make something bigger. So one of my friends, he's a barber. He was looking for a space. He's like, well, you sell clothes and I do barbering, so why don't we just get something together? So in my mind, I'm like, all right, but it would have to be a big space because it really doesn't, those two really don't go together.
Right.
So we're looking in Raleigh and he's like, well, I only have this much to spend. And I'm like, that ain't gonna get us nothing. And I'm not footing the rest of the bill. Long story short, went on loop.net, found me a space in Smithfield. Mind you, I live in Clayton, but didn't know anything about Smithfield.
And for people who don't know the geography, because this is an international.
Oh, it's international. Oh, okay. Sorry. We big, we international. So Clayton is located in Johnson County, which is a rural area in North Carolina, next to Raleigh, which is the city. Fast forward, find a little space, 1,400 square foot. It was like $600. I said, I could do this because why? I'm making $500-$600 in 3 days on my clothes.
Right.
So resale was really, it's always been big back home. So I was like, okay, I can do this. But the thing is, I didn't know anything about starting a brick and mortar. I didn't know anything about target market. I didn't know anything about business, period. But I mean, I had my tax business, but that was my clients followed me. So there was no marketing needed to be done. I still don't market my business and I'm good with that. So I did hire a marketing firm and they helped me a little bit, but the amount of money that I felt like I spent, I didn't get the results. Facebook started doing ads, so I started working the Facebook ads. I spent a lot of money, just needless to say. The door really opened the most when I came in and when I went out. There was a Goodwill on the other back side of the street, and then up the street, there was another thrift store. So there really was no need for my space where it was. But had I had the support, had I had the resources, had I had the education, I more than likely would not have chosen that location. And I would have done my homework a little bit more to know if this is a lucrative business, which it actually is, depending on your location. So 2.5 years in, I'm doing everything. I'm having events, sipping shops. Every Friday you can come in, have a glass of wine and shop. Started a program for the kids science night. Once a month, they would pay $1. They get pizza. They have watch a whole science program. Get taught. One of my friends she taught science, and they did projects because I wanted to be involved in the community. So in order for me, it was like, to get the community in my doors, I have to involve the community in what I'm doing. I had Christmas pictures, Easter egg hunts. I mean, I did it all. But that still wasn't good enough. So 2.5 years, I started paying my rent and not paying my mortgage for my home. My thought was, if I didn't pay my rent, the landlord could lock the doors and I can lose all my stuff. If I didn't pay my mortgage, then it would just take some months before they foreclose on I had time. So I was working on time. And that wasn't the case. It didn't really work out too much. And I actually went for help from North Carolina Housing, and they look at my profit loss statement for both my tax business and the store, and they said, well, your tax business is doing great, but your brick and mortar, you have to close that because it's just bringing you down. I was devastated. I still actually have the name. I still have the website. I don't close it because I feel like sometime in a couple of years, I'm going to end up starting it again. But I had to make that decision to close or lose my home. So I did that. And then that wasn't my end result. My end result was like, Mel, you have to figure this out because I didn't know anyone like that. And I didn't really know marketing. I'm a veteran, so I had an opportunity to go back to school. So I did go to North Carolina Central in 2018. I started there as a transfer student. I transferred over. I had my associates already. And then I graduated actually in 2020 with my bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in marketing. Because why? I was going to help other entrepreneurs.
You were
I
determined.
just, hmm?
You were determined.
I was very determined. I mean, I was so determined that I even went to China. So I did go to China to learn about import and export, to learn about the different qualities of the material, to get connections, because I said, all right, I'm probably going to deal with a lot of people that are in retail and they're shopping, they're doing wholesale. Let me be able to say, okay, I have a connection here. You can connect with this person. I saw their quality, it's good. So, yeah, so I did that. I definitely did that. Now, fast forward 2019, before I graduated, I said, let me go look for a space for my tax business because I have a home-based business. So I came to where I'm at and I saw a space upstairs, and then the property manager was like, let me show you the space downstairs. And I said, oh, okay. So when he showed it to me, I was like, wait a second. You mean I can have a space where I can not only help entrepreneurs, but like we can actually do it on a mastermind type feel. We can work together, collaborate, help build and grow each other's business. I was like, yeah, no, I want this space.
Yeah.
So February, he hit me up and was like, do you still want the space? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it like, after tax season ends and I graduate. He's like, well, somebody else wants it. And I'm like, wait, why did they even know about the place? This place has been vacant for years and now somebody else wants it. So the guy actually that wanted it was a contractor, and he actually wanted to do the work in here, make it turnkey, and then take 2 offices and pay the rent from the work he did. Well, he wanted to charge me about $3,500 just to do the work in here. And I said, well, let me think about that. I found someone to do the work for $1,800, and I told him, hey, I'm going to pass, but if you would like to rent an office for me, you sure can. I never heard from him again. So fast forward, I'm here. We're going on year 2 in June. I'm super excited for what's to come. But needless to say, like, I want you guys to know, like, if you feel your fear, like, just face it, like, just do it. With COVID happening and me having the space, it actually allowed me to slow down and, get things going and be ready. But I'm still not ready, but I'm still not stopping, and I'm still going. And Mia could tell you, like, she's on my advisory board and she's still not listed, but it's there. Like, it's all a work in progress. And I say all that to say that, like, just keep pushing. Like, so, and then you said something about me being a disruptor. That's
yeah.
That's what I'm disrupting the stereotypes. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So definitely disrupting the stereotypes that, one, Black people can't work together. So in this space, we're showing, we're proving that it can be done. We can work together. We can work on each other's businesses together. Stereotypes that we're lazy, we're not dependent, we're not dependable. Certain workshops that we are having here that helps you with certain things, getting you motivated. So, I mean, there's so much that we are doing here, and we're providing and building our ecosystem. Like, I'm just so excited for what's to come. So much is going to come. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and I love that you took what could have been a devastating thing to you, like losing your other business or closing your other business because you didn't have the knowledge, right? You didn't have everything that you needed to have in order to create something successful, right? And you're like, you know what? If I don't have this, then maybe someone else doesn't have it. And you went out and you were like, I'm going to create this, and I'm going to break all of these barriers to business ownership for other people. And I believe that when we come from that place, because this has actually been the theme of today, and I didn't even realize that it was going to be the theme when I chose who I chose to show up today. But the theme is, it's like, if we get into this space of what we're needing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what we believe the rest of the world needs, and we come from a place of service and share that information with them, then that's when we get to be successful,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
you feel like your soul is on fire, like you're so excited about this when you were actually building something totally different from this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I love that. So what would you say like is the one of the most important things that you've learned on this journey of, I mean, you also do a lot of other things, like you'll travel anywhere, you'll do a lot of really cool things and things that people might not think that you should be doing. What made you decide that, I'm gonna live my life my way,
Oh,
and
definitely.
like let's figure the rest of this out later?
Um, I've always been an adventurous person. Like, like I said, I went to the military, but prior to that, like I was traveling down here on a Greyhound bus at 14 by myself. Like boyfriends, they didn't live in my town. Mm-mm. I had to travel to see you. I was not convenient.
Yeah.
I wasn't convenient. So I love that though. I was just like, I love that. And then, like being in the military, and I did get married to my son's father, but facing being in that situation wasn't great because it was an abusive situation. I couldn't do much of anything.
Right.
Um, and I vowed to myself, like, nothing's going to stop me from doing anything I want to do. Nothing. So, no man, no woman, no child. I have a son. My son's going to be 20. I'll have another baby, and the baby either going to get on my back and come on or sit right there with grandma. But nothing's going to stop me. Like, I have so many goals. Like, there's nothing that I won't try. Um, if I've never done it, obviously you can try, but like at least I'll give it a try. If it's
Yeah.
not for me, it's not for me. You know, people, relationships, this is all new to me, to be honest with you. Like me building all these relationships with these people, like this is new. This is new. I mean, I love people. Don't get me wrong. I love people. I love conversing with people, but like actually building that bond and that relationship, like, okay, this is what I'm doing here. This is what I need. Are you with me or are you not? You know, like, is your vision aligned with mine? Because
Ooh.
you always have to stay true to your vision. You know, everybody has a purpose and you need to continue to walk in your purpose. Can't nobody change your purpose, you know? So, yeah, I have a lot of people that want to be resources for the Wright Village, but everyone can't be a resource for the Wright Village.
I love that you said aligned with your vision, because a lot of us do things from a place of this is what I need. I'm not sure if it's the right fit, but I'm going to do it anyway because I need it in this
Mm,
moment.
mm.
And for you to say, you know what, I've had my own challenges and I'm still going to say no when the person isn't right. Right. And I want to go back to something else that you said. You said no man, no relationship, no child.
You broke up. I didn't hear you.
When
You're
you said
freezing.
like that's gonna stop. Hear me?
You're freezing.
Mm,
Is it me or is it my
I
weather?
think it's I think it's yours. I'm looking at my signal. It looks good.
Is she freezing on your end or everyone? Anyone?
Who's freezing? Anyone? Oh, I see. Yeah, mine is a little bit weaker on here. So that's fairly good over here. Am
I
I
can
still
hear you
freezing?
now.
Okay, good. I was asking you to talk a little bit more about when you said no relationship, no man, no child, because a lot of mothers, our parents, will limit themselves to a life less desirable in the um, name of their children. So, talk
Mhm.
to me a little bit about that, or talk to me about how people can get over that and go and do what they're made to do.
Well, I can just base it off of myself. Like children are a blessing. You know, like I said, my son is 20 years old. I do want more. I do want one more. I do want one more child. And because that's something that I want and I have this going on, that and I said if this happens, this child is going to be a part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show and prove that you can have kids and continue your journey. You make some adjustments,
Absolutely.
but don't stop.
Right.
You know, there's a goal. Your child is part of that goal. I mean, you're doing it for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I said no child can stop me. Yeah. If I have to be in here with a bassinet in one of these offices and have to pop my titty out to breastfeed, that's what I got to do.
But that you created that freedom by being an entrepreneur. And that's the other thing I want people to get. Is like you get to create this freedom as an entrepreneur, but even if you worked in an office, like you got to be the disruptor to be like, you know what? I want to bring my kid in here and I want like you guys get to either provide childcare or we're going to be working in this office with the child right here with me, right? Mm-hmm. We're do this together. Yeah, love it. As David said, haha. David thought that was funny.
Yeah, pop the titty out. Just got to do it.
That's going to be another thing that we'll do a little something else about pop the titty out. David also says that she's fascinated by how adventurous you are, Mel, and are willing to get out, go out, and experience.
Thank you, David. Definitely.
Yeah, and what would you say, like, your adventurous spirit, how has that helped you, right? And I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, but how has that helped you along your entrepreneurial journey?
You just get this when you are adventurous and you go out, you see different cultures. You get to see where there's a need for certain things. You get different lights on different things. I mean, like China, that was a must do. I think everyone should just go to China, but at least once. But I mean, just even going out on my own in the town, you know, you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know who you're going to bump into. You don't know if you're going to feel comfortable. You might feel out of place.
I mean, as a single woman, you go out on the town alone.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Go sit at the bar.
Right. And I believe, look, I do the same thing. And I totally believe that if you can't have a meal or go to the movies or do something that's typically reserved for couples, if you can't do that by yourself, you're not growing. So we're going to invite you to travel, go out to dinner, or go to a movie. Like, go and do something alone and experience that by yourself so that you can feel that muscle. Because we both travel alone. We both go out to eat or go out alone. And I've been to the movies a bunch of times by myself. It's very...
I just don't do the movie thing. I'll probably fall asleep in the movies. But right now I'm detoxing, so I'm not eating nothing. But
yeah, it's very freeing. Very freeing to be that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like literally, you really have to stop second guessing yourself and stop worrying about other people. And if you need validation, you don't need validation from no one. You know, keep pushing. And I'm a firm believer, no validation.
That's awesome. I love that. If there's anything else that you would want like the audience to walk away with before we wrap up, because we're out of time. Like, see, this went by fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So what would you want the audience to know? Like, if you had to give an entrepreneur or a disruptor some advice, like, what would you want them to leave with?
To get out of their comfort zone. And stereotypes and stigmas are only real if you feed into them.
That's huge. Huge. Love that. Love that. Thank you, Mel, for stepping out of your comfort zone and being here today.
I'm all sweaty.
See, I love the transparency. See, people, she's showing up. She's sweating. She was nervous.
I'm nervous.
And like, she showed up anyway. That's what it's going to take.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
I love you, girl.
Love you too.
So much. Love you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, y'all.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Brand Disruptors podcast. I'm your host, Mia Lamont. And if you like what you just heard, I hope that you will pass along our web address at www.mialamont.com/podcast to your friends and colleagues. And please leave us a positive review on iTunes. Download this episode and any other episode that you found to be helpful. And be sure to check out our previous episodes and join me next time with another edition of the Brand Disruptors podcast.